This video that you're about to watch is going to prove without the shadow of a doubt that Stephen A. Smith truly believes that the white man's ice is indeed colder. It's pretty much frozen solid. So, it's no secret that Stephen A. Smith has some kind of a personal vendetta against Kyrie Irving. What type of vendetta, I'm not entirely sure. And it's probably not even that deep. But then again, I don't know. Like, that's something between him and Kyrie Irving, but Kyrie is just doing his thing, but this dude just seems to always keep his name in his mouth. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this video. It's a minute and a half long, and it's going to cover two perspectives of why I said what I said at the beginning of why Stephen A. Smith believes the white man's ice is colder. Just check this out.
He thinks you're too preoccupied with Kyrie, too hard on Kyrie.
Did I mention Kyrie Irving last week before he demanded a trade? We were talking football. How many times have I mentioned Kyrie Irving over the last few weeks?
I don't seem to be the one being triggered right now.
Well, I'm always triggered.
No, you're not.
Oh, yes, I am.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
No, you are not.
Okay.
I've seen you. I watch your show every day.
So what
All right,
do you...
are we talking about Kyrie or is this personal?
It seems personal.
I don't want it to be personal.
What seems personal?
It seems personal for you.
For me with Kyrie?
Yes.
You
1,000,000%.
You of all people with all the interest you have got the nerve to sit here in national television and tell me I'm getting personal with a player?
Because the NBA...
Now, I want y'all to really pay close attention to that exchange. That was between Stephen A. Smith and... Now, I want y'all to pay real close attention to that exchange that just happened there. That was between Stephen A. Smith and Jay Williams. Jay Williams is one of the few people, one of the few analysts that will go toe-to-toe with Stephen A. Smith and call him out on his crap. And literally, like, if you saw the mannerisms of Jay Williams, like right here, he's just looking at Stephen A. Smith like a complete idiot, which he definitely is, and saying that it gets personal for you when it comes to Kyrie Irving for some reason. Like, you seem to have some kind of vendetta with this dude and we don't know what it is. And it's almost like when trying to get out of you what it is, it's like pulling teeth. But he's sitting here right here in front of Jay Williams, another black man, and he's basically trying to tell him that it's not personal. It's not personal. I guess he figures if he tells himself enough times that it isn't personal, then people will actually believe it. But that segues into the next part, which I'm going to skip ahead a little bit to this one, where he's being interviewed by Pat McAfee. Now, I talked about Pat McAfee because he is currently, quote unquote, being sued by Brett Favre because apparently he put out some defamation stuff about him when it pertains to that welfare scandal, which we all know he definitely is a part of. But that's besides the point. Now, listen to how he talks to Pat McAfee versus how he talks to Jay Williams.
is cooking currently.
Yeah.
Kyrie Irving gets traded out of Brooklyn to Dallas. They get a big win last night. He's leading scorer, I believe. Luka was out, so they're able to kind of maybe one and change. And you obviously cut a promo on Kyrie, and the world reacts to it. How do you see that all going in the future with you and Kyrie? What do you think? Like, he wins? Do you ever see you coming full?
Kyrie, listen, here's the deal.
Just your coverage of him.
Here's the deal. It doesn't matter how I feel about you. I'm always going to be fair, and I'm always going to be objective. You ain't worth my paper. So my attitude is that even if I don't like your ass, I'm still going to be fair. Now, me and Kyrie have our differences that I don't think will ever be settled. He knows why. It's personal.
He just said it. He said, me and Kyrie have our issues. He knows why. It's personal. But wait a minute. You just said to Jay Williams that it wasn't personal. But you sat in front of Pat McAfee, a white man, and told him and his audience and us that it's personal between you and Kyrie. That's, I say, he believes the white man's ice is colder. He wouldn't even tell Jay Williams that what's going on between him and Kyrie is personal, but he'll go and tell Pat McAfee, a white man, that it is personal between him and Kyrie. You can tell this guy loves talking about black people in mixed company. He can even tell that to Jay Williams. And Jay Williams, the look on his face, he knew that Stephen A. Smith was talking a bunch of BS. We know it's personal between you and Kyrie because every chance he talks about Kyrie Irving in such a disrespectful manner and tone every chance he gets. He never takes a day off. He's almost like how it was when Jason Whitlock kept going after Colin Kaepernick when he was kneeling a few years ago. That's how Jason Whitlock was then. This is how Stephen A. Smith is now with Kyrie Irving. I don't need to play the last 10 seconds of this video. I got everything I needed when he said that this was personal. So now people are going to inquire what happened. What was going on between you and Kyrie that got to this point? Because Kyrie, you know, he's living his best life. He got traded to the Mavericks. He had an excellent first game with the team. He's minding his business. He's doing his thing. But I think it's the fact of the matter that, and this is just my thoughts, Stephen A. Smith cannot maneuver around the way Kyrie can. And it's eating at him. It's crazy because I'm sure there's other players on that Brooklyn team that he could talk about, but he always talks about Kyrie. Well, guess what? Kyrie's gone. He's gone from your team or the team that you like, Steven. So now you should not be talking about him anymore, but he's going to continue to talk about him because he's a one-trick pony. Or he's going to continue talking about Kyrie until he finds another black athlete to talk to. And again, listen to the tone. How he spoke on here versus how he was when he was talking to Jay Williams. When he's talking to Jay, and he does this with every black person. When he was talking to Jay Williams, he was speaking with an attitude. He was being loud as he usually is. He wasn't speaking in such a calm tone. And Jay Williams was in a calm tone. But see, Stephen A. Smith doesn't like when people combat against him. He feels he has to be the loudest person in the room. And a lot of people think that they're the loudest person in the room, that not only is their point getting across, but that they are the smartest, most intelligent one in the room as well. That's not how this works. That just means you're just loud. And a lot of times it means you're ignorant. But when he was talking to Pat McAfee, he was speaking with his, what we used to call indoor voice. He tends to do that a lot. We've seen so many examples of that happening. That's just who he is. But now that we know that it is personal by your words, and he can't say that it wasn't now, because I don't know if he was on Pat McAfee before or after him talking to Jay Williams. I don't know what the dates were. I don't know, but it was around the same time. So I don't know where he was first. But the fact of the matter is, he said it was personal. Now people are going to want to know how. What was personal? What happened between you and Kyrie Irving that got to this point? Not that it really matters. And you know what? It's probably so minuscule that it's not even worth mentioning. He tried to say, oh, he knows why. Now people are going to be asking him why that is. And then who has the time? Who has the time? But seeing as how Stephen A. Smith is the one that's salty about the whole thing, he should just go ahead and tell the people what the issue is. But like I said, he probably won't tell it because it's so small and pointless that it might be embarrassing if he even brings it up.